Enemy forces confirmed. Enemy on the road. Enemy ground. Enemy activity. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy ground forces on the move. Enemy forces. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy on the ground. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy activity forces confirmed on the move. Needed here now. We need support. Acknowledge. Over. Sorry, I messed up. Enemy activity. Over. Thanks, boss. Roger that. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Area secure and under control. Okay. Enemy on the road. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Area secure. Enemy forces confirmed on the road. Enemy spotted. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Enemy activity. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy on the road. Enemy on the road. Roger that. Okay, enemy is overrunning us. You must fight harder. Enemy activity. Enemy acknowledge. On the move. We have enemy armor. Enemy forces confirmed. Enemy tank in our area. Over. Command and control restore to TAC. Move! Starting ground. All clear. Area secure. Go! Outpost is being overrun. The enemy is overrunning us. You must fight harder. Roger that. More watchtowers needed here now. Okay. We've lost command of an outpost. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy on the ground. Starlight to my location. All safe. Area secure. And under control. Activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy forces confirmed this location. Enemy ground forces. Acknowledge. Over. Grenade! I'm out of ammo. Acknowledge. Over. Boat spotted. We've lost command of an outpost. Area secure and under control. Enemy activity. Enemy forces on the move.
نحتاج إسعافات أولية.
We've lost command of an outpost. All clear. Area. Requesting foxhounds. Dislocation.
فليبتعد تعيش.
Enemy
الرجال.
Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Area secure and under control. Good job, thanks.
الإسعافات الأولية إلى هنا.
Sorry, I messed up. Enemy ground forces. Trailer prepared. Platform facility available. Enemy activity. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. In our area, over. Area secure and under control. Enemy activity. Enemy activity. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Over. Enemy forces confirmed. Enemy forces. Enemy APC spotted. Enemy APC. We've lost command of an outpost. Enemy activity. Over. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy activity confirmed. Enemy activity acknowledge. Over. Enemy ground forces. Enemy activity. Enemy on the ground. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Ground forces spotted. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy activity acknowledge. Enemy on the ground. Enemy on the ground. Enemy on the road. Enemy ground forces. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy on the ground. Enemy forces confirmed on the road. Enemy on the road. Enemy activity acknowledge. Over. Enemy forces observed. Over. Enemy wheeled call sign. Enemy armor sighted. Over. Medic, now! New commander reporting for duty. Medic, now! Enemy activity being overrun. Over. The enemy is overrunning us. You must fight harder. Enemy on the ground. On the move.
رجال
Now! Starlight! Enemy forces. Enemy activity. Enemy forces on the move. We've lost command of enemy ground forces. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy activity acknowledge. Over. Enemy ground forces. Enemy activity acknowledge. Over. Medic, now! Enemy forces confirmed on the move. We need reinforcement. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy forces confirmed. Enemy wheeled call sign. Enemy activity acknowledge. Over. Enemy on the ground. Enemy on the road. Enemy wheeled call sign. Enemy on the road. Enemy wheeled call sign. Enemy activity acknowledge. Over. Good job, thanks. Command and control restored to TAC. All clear. Area secure. All clear. Area secure. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. We have enemy armor. Sorry, I messed up. Sorry, I messed up. New commander reporting for duty. We have enemy armor. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy ground forces spotted. Outpost is being overrun. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Using this firefight. Start fighting or you'll be replaced.
Drone online and transmitting.
Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy forces confirmed. Over. Command and control restored to TAC. Area secure and under control. We brought command of an outpost. All clear. Area secure. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Area secure. Control. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy field call sign.
فليبدأ الفصل.
نقطة جيدة. شكرا.
Enemy ground on the ground. Enemy APC identified. We brought command of an enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy on the ground. Enemy tank in our area. Over. Enemy APC. Acknowledged. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. We have enemy armor. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Enemy APC. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy on the road. Enemy ground forces confirmed on the move. Command of an outpost. Enemy activity on the ground. Knowledge over. Enemy ground forces. Enemy tank in our area. Over. Enemy ground forces. Enemy ground. Enemy on the ground. Enemy on the ground. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy on the road. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy activity, acknowledge, over. Enemy activity, acknowledge, over. We have enemy armor. Enemy on the ground. Enemy forces above. Nope.
Enemy on the ground.
Enemy activity, acknowledge, over. We've lost command of an outpost. Enemy on the ground.
Grenade!
Enemy ground forces. Enemy tank in our area, over. We have enemy armor. Enemy activity on the ground. Enemy tank in our area, over. Enemy tank in our area, over. Area secure and under control. Enemy on the ground. Enemy on the ground. Enemy on the ground. Enemy activity, acknowledge, over. Enemy APC. Outpost is being overrun. You're losing this firefight. Start fighting or you'll be replaced. Enemy forces on the move. Enemy APC, acknowledge. Enemy APC, acknowledge. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy activity, acknowledge. Enemy activity, acknowledge, over. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy ground forces. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy ground forces. Enemy on the ground. Enemy tank in our area, over. Enemy ground forces. Enemy tank in our area, enemy on the ground. Enemy on the ground. Enemy activity, acknowledge, over. Enemy sniper. Enemy in retreat. Excellent effort. Enemy on the ground. Enemy forces confirmed. Acknowledged. Over. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy ground forces. Enemy sniper. Incoming sniper fire. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy ground forces. Incoming sniper fire. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy activity. Enemy forces incoming sniper fire. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. The enemy is overrunning us. You must fight enemy harder. Ground forces. Enemy ground forces spotted. Enemy ground forces. Incoming sniper fire. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces observed. Over. Enemy on the ground. Enemy activity. Acknowledged. Enemy activity. Acknowledged. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy forces observed. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy activity. Enemy activity. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy forces confirmed. Enemy forces confirmed on enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy activity. Enemy activity. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy activity. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. We have enemy armor. We've lost command of an outpost. Enemy ground forces. Enemy ground forces. Enemy forces confirmed. Acknowledged. Over. Enemy ground forces. Acknowledged. Over. Enemy forces observed. Over. Enemy on the ground. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Enemy vehicles spotted. Over. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy forces confirmed. Enemy forces. Enemy forces clear. Enemy activity. Acknowledge. Over. Enemy on the road. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Enemy forces confirmed on the move. Acknowledge. Over. Command and control restored to TAC. We have enemy armor. Area secure and under control. Outpost is being overrun. You're losing this firefight. Start fighting or you'll be replaced. Enemy on the ground. Enemy in retreat. Excellent effort. Enemy forces confirmed. Acknowledged. Over. Enemy snipers in attack area. Area secure and under control.